The suffering of generations must be endured to achieve our divine end. Naughty Dog's first impression for us with their new IP is this statement that carries a weighty and deterministic tone. A very clear evolution of their initial attempt to display fictional fanaticism of the scars from The Last of Us Part 2, or a homage to their initial humble beginnings as Jam Software when giving a closer inspection to the initials of our new protagonist, Jordan A. Min, or rather a subtle reminder of the return of Macho Nacho, a beloved recognition from our memories with the PlayStation mascot and arguably Naughty Dog's most iconic character, Nathan Drake.
You worked at a Macho Nacho?
All of this is perfectly encaptured as Jordan blasts off into the abyss of Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, on her Porsche spaceship wearing her Adidas, piercing the Sony sound system as described by many as a perfect description of the 80s to capture the retrofuturism vibe this game is apparently going for. And for once we're reminded that this is the same studio and the same talented people who brought us iconic titles like Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, Uncharted, and most recently, The Last of Us. Many of these individuals have dedicated up to 25 years of their lives to shaping Naughty Dog into the powerhouse it is today. This initial reveal trailer feels like the perfect reflection of Naughty Dog's legacy, a studio that has consistently reinvented itself each decade, pushing the boundaries of what video games can achieve as an artistic medium. And now with Intergalactic, they seem to be doing the same, boldly stepping into the new territory. So why did they receive such a hostile reaction? The answer seems pretty clear: hatred.
Yeah, if the first game was really like the core of it, the theme was about the love between these two characters, this story is the counter of that. The story is about hate.
Even 4 years after Ellie's destructive quest to avenge Joel's death came to an end, people cannot seem to forgive what Naughty Dog chose for Joel and Ellie. It truly is the perfect example of life imitating art. And even though it makes perfect sense as to why a tragedy of such gravity would happen in the world of The Last of Us, I also understand why some people might not want to engage in Neil Druckmann's loss simulation, as it's often described.
Joel, get up. Joel, fucking get up.
The first reason for the discourse lies in the distrust of what some call the modern Naughty Dog. But the reality is there is no such thing as a new Naughty Dog. Veterans like Kurt Margeneau, Matthew Gallant, Travis McClantish, and Anthony Newman have worked tirelessly to build the studio we've always loved. Even Neil Druckmann himself has been with the studio since 2004, when he first joined as a programmer on Jak 3. The second reason is the physical appearance of the character. And having gone through a lot of the online discourse surrounding this game, I feel like the general consensus is that gaming is an escape. Why be reminded of the constant mediocrity of daily life, be it through the appearance of a character, when you can escape into the fanatical vision of a simulated world far away from reality? I, however, have a different perspective. I believe that we don't necessarily want to escape reality. No matter how intimate or epic, we always seek to find reflections of our own daily lives in worlds that might initially seem very different. And when you strip away the surface beauty of those worlds, you realize that at their core, they are very much like our own. As Robert McKee says, we do not wish to escape life, but to find life.
Those were your fucking people. You're my people.
To use our minds in fresh, experimental ways, to flex our emotions, to enjoy, to learn, to add depth to our days. To me, a writer who fails to show the universal shared humanity of their characters and their world has essentially failed as a writer. An ideal writer to me would wrap their wildest ideas in a culture different from my own, but with the sole purpose of revealing the truth. When I see Jordan, I believe there's a reason she might have shaved her head. Or when I see AJ, Jordan's agent, I truly believe she has a substantial reason to try to steer our protagonist away from her quest. Because when characters are on the screen, there is no place to hide. Neil Druckmann and his team cannot hide behind the screen and tell a story that doesn't feel truthful. That's when a story falls apart, not when a character is chosen to be bald. The vitriolic reaction to this initial reveal, which was meant to be a historic moment defining the next generation of Naughty Dog's skill and turning it into a culture war, is deeply disappointing. The discourse surrounding Naughty Dog has clearly shifted to focus more on sexual identity than on studio's actual work, something they have never explicitly emphasized in any of their games.
It's really about trying to create a multifaceted character who is trans, and that is absolutely an important part of who he is, but also a part of who he is, not the whole of who he is.
I'm afraid of being turned into a token rather than the truth, which is like, we're being thoughtful about the female narrative. These characters are more than just their vaginas.
When I think of The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie's queerness never comes across as a defining trait for her to me. Diversity of characters never harms a narrative.
I have to finish it.
It only does so when it fails to truly reflect the essence of a character's truth.
I'm not gonna do this again. That's up to you.
And besides, this studio has always been diverse. Amy Hennig introduced us to the iconic characters like Chloe Fraser, Eddie Raja, and Tenzin, each representing different cultures. Neil Druckmann has simply continued this legacy, expanding on the studio's commitment to creating characters from varied backgrounds, each with their own depth and complexity. The diversity within their storytelling has always been a strength, enriching the narrative rather than detracting from it. What excites me the most is Neil's ability as a writer to convey the maximum emotion with the minimum words. If there's one thing clear from this trailer, it's that Naughty Dog is ready to continue this trend with their new game. When you see AJ say, "Listen, kid," and the absolute silence and powerlessness on her face before she adds,
I'll see you on the other side.
it reaffirms to me that this studio excels at expressing character motivations. Similarly, when Jordan glares at Semphiria, conflicted about her decision only to later pull the lever in the most thrilling way, that's what defines Naughty Dog to me. The same studio and the same team that brought us Crash, Jack, Nathan, Joel, Ellie, and Abby.
I know it's a fucking mess. I know. But we can choose to be happy. Happy. We're allowed to be happy.
I wish that the excited developers who have worked on this game can be protected from the same tragedy that befell The Last of Us Part 2. And I also hope that this game fulfills all the expectations we have come to associate with Naughty Dog after all these years. Despite how unusual the title sounds, it deserves a chance, and most importantly, better and more civil discussions. The developers deserve the opportunity to share their vision without the weight of unnecessary negativity. And if you're interested in understanding my take on The Last of Us Part 2, be sure to check out the videos dropping in the upcoming weeks.